In a vault at Yale University lies a book that should not exist. It is small, about the size of a modern paperback. 240 pages of animal skin, filled with flowing, looping handwriting. The problem is the alphabet. It matches no writing system on Earth. Not Latin, not Arabic, not Chinese. Nothing. The pages show plants, hundreds of them, drawn in careful detail. Botanists have studied them for a century. Most of these plants do not exist. Star charts that match no sky. Diagrams of women bathing in green liquid, connected by pipes and tubes that lead nowhere. The world's greatest code breakers, people who broke Nazi ciphers, people who built the NSA, have all tried to read it. Every single one of them failed. 600 years, 170,000 characters, 0 words understood. This is Obscura Files. Every episode, one case, the facts, the theories, and a verdict. File number 3, The Object, created in the early 1400s. The case, opened in 1912, when a rare book dealer found it in an Italian villa and could not read a single line. His name was Wilfred Voynich. The book has carried his name ever since. Here is what we know for certain. The skin is real. In 2009, scientists carbon dated the vellum, the treated animal skin the book is written on. The result, between 1404 and 1438. This is not a modern forgery on old paper. The book itself is 600 years old. The ink is real too. Iron gall ink, standard for the 15th century. The paints match the period. Whoever made this book, made it then. The writing flows. This detail matters more than it sounds. Look closely at the strokes. No corrections, no hesitation, no gaps where someone stopped to think or to copy. The scribe wrote quickly and confidently, the way you write a language you know. And the text obeys rules. In the 1930s and 40s, cryptographers began counting. How often each symbol appears, which symbols follow which, how word lengths spread across the pages. Real languages produce very specific statistical patterns. Random scribbles do not. The Voynich text passes these tests. Its statistics behave like a real language, a language nobody has ever identified. The book has 6 sections. A herbal section, plant after plant, most of them impossible. An astronomical section, circular star charts, zodiac symbols, tiny painted suns. The strangest part, the bathing section, dozens of small women in pools of green liquid, linked by an anatomy of pipes and vessels that looks half like plumbing, half like a body. Then recipes, hundreds of short paragraphs, each marked with a star, like a list of instructions no one can follow. We can even trace the book's journey. A letter from 1665, found with the manuscript, says it was once bought by Rudolph II, the Holy Roman Emperor, a famous collector of curiosities, for 600 gold ducats, a fortune. The letter says the emperor believed the author was Roger Bacon, the 13th century English scientist. From Prague, the book passed between scholars and alchemists, was mailed to the most famous codebreaker of the age, a Jesuit named Athanasius Kircher, and then vanished into a church library for 2 centuries. In 1912, Wilfred Voynich bought it from a Jesuit college near Rome. He spent the rest of his life trying to have it read. He died believing it was the work of Roger Bacon, worth a fortune, one breakthrough away from being understood. The breakthrough never came. Not for him, not for anyone. A century of theories. Let's test the 3 that survived. Theory 1. It is a cipher, a real text, deliberately encrypted. This was the obvious answer, so the best people took it on. William Friedman, the man who led the team that broke Japan's purple cipher in World War II, studied the manuscript for over 30 years. He organized study groups of military cryptanalysts. They attacked it with every method that had broken every other code. Nothing. And here is why that matters. Medieval ciphers are simple. Substitution, transposition, techniques a modern computer solves in seconds. If the Voynich text were a normal cipher from the 1400s, it would have fallen a century ago. It has not fallen. So either it is not a cipher, or it is a kind of cipher centuries ahead of its time. Theory 2. It is a hoax. Beautiful, elaborate nonsense, built to sell. There is a suspect. Rudolph's 600 ducats. A book of impossible plants and secret writing would be exactly the kind of bait a collector emperor could not resist. In 2004, researcher Gordon Rugg showed that a simple medieval tool, a grill of cut holes slid over a table of syllables, could generate text with Voynich-like patterns. Fast, cheap, and centuries appropriate. But the hoax theory has two problems. The vellum alone, over 200 pages of prepared animal skin, costs serious money. A strange investment for a forger. And the statistics run deeper than Rugg's method easily explains. The text's patterns shift by section, the way real content shifts by topic. Plants are written about differently than stars. That is a lot of structure for nonsense. Theory 3. It is a lost or invented language. Not a code hiding a known language, a language of its own. Perhaps a phonetic script invented to write down a dialect that had no alphabet. Perhaps a private language, the way some twins invent one. This would explain the fluency of the writing and the natural statistics. And it would explain why code breaking fails. There is no cipher to break, only a language with no dictionary and no second example anywhere on Earth. The problem? It is almost impossible to prove. Every few years, someone announces a solution. Hebrew, Latin shorthand, a Proto-Romance language, an Aztec dialect. Each claim makes headlines. None has ever survived review. The manuscript has a habit of making confident people look foolish. So here is the verdict. The most likely story, based on the evidence. The book is exactly what it appears to be. A genuine 15th century manuscript, written fluently by someone who knew what they were writing. The statistics are too language-like for casual nonsense, and the vellum too expensive for a cheap trick, which leaves the uncomfortable conclusion. There is meaning on those pages. Someone wrote something, a language, a system, a world of plants and stars and bathing women. And 600 years of human intelligence has not been enough to hear them. Speculation? Perhaps the book was never meant to be read by us. A private record, a single mind writing only for itself, and succeeding forever. Or perhaps the answer is simpler and worse. Perhaps we have already seen the solution, published in some rejected paper, laughed out of some conference, and did not recognize it. The book waits in its vault. It has outlasted empires, wars, and every reader who swore they would be the one. It will probably outlast us. File number 3 remains open. Next file. A woman found in a burned-out hollow in Norway. Every label cut from her clothes. 9 false names in her notebooks. File number 4. The Isdell woman. This is Obscura Files.